Oh, well. There's some compiling stuff here. So we got a multimedia operating system here. Screensaver. Alright, right now I'm compiling something called Hamda. Something like that. There's a bunch of broken links in this library directory. So I get to rename 30 of them. So I found out where they really are, and they're probably hard links or something. I don't know. This is the second time I've had symlink problems. Finally got all my packages reconciled. It's pretty good, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Does everything it's supposed to do. Like this. Still holds. Not bad. Alright. So right now, where am I at? Got 3,229 individual packages. Where I've made 3,270. A lot of those are not installable because there's package conflicts. Some of them are actually a second newer build of the same version, or a second Python version. There's one that built but won't install. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 7 duplicates. The rest are just install conflicts. It's choice of one or the other. Let's see. I worked my way through the what is it? Miscellaneous. I'm working on net right now. Last time I did this, I had 64. I don't pay attention that much. Things just kind of build and they show up. I think I probably have 68 now. Oh, okay. So what I want to do today is talk about Mesa and how to get it in here with the same version package source wants to use. And that package source thinks you got a perfectly good package when you do, but you've taken the hard links out of the zip file. There's gonna be there's gonna be a handful of packages that the problem with not having hard links is that if a file is zipped up in such a way that requires that has hard links in it, then it won't unzip. And I haven't really found an override for that in package source. I found an override for when package source tries to do a to do a zip, unzip. No, sorry, hard link in one of its own make files. So the override for that I've already explained. But dealing with tar, you basically you're kind of stuck. You have to, first of all, you have to be able to FTP your source somewhere, and then FTP it down into a platform that can handle hard links. And then you got to unzip the thing, and then you got to this is Mesa. It's kind of important. Although the newer versions of Mesa don't do this, and Haiku Porter has found some other way to get around this, or it just happens to be the version that package source is using. And sometimes package source gets stuck on certain major build versions, and this is like 7. it's pretty old. This is like the opposite of what I'm used to. I think it's 7, I forgot what it was. 7.12 or something like that. I don't know. One of those, somewhere in that area. Certainly isn't 10. So, there's one situation where I'm not using the latest and the greatest and nothing. And it's probably come about because of the result of, what the hell is this? Dude, Mesa's still has some issues building. It won't, right now I'm at a point where it won't link. And there's a lot of things to work around. Okay, so let me just get to how I did this. If you're using package source, it'll download the version of Mesa that you ask for the most part. However, with regard to Mesa itself, they moved some it's now at version 10. It's really, the numbers have really skyrocketed in the past couple of years. But now they've separated the GLUT libraries from the main Mesa or something. So no, it's no longer one build. And so if you put like version 10 in the make file, it won't download everything. So, you know, just deciding to go up to the newer version doesn't really work. I don't even know what the implications are of using the older version of Mesa. What am I missing out on? Or would I be missing out on? So I've got to a point where I've got a compile attempt going. And now it seems like once I'm done with my auto runs here, I'll be stuck with all the fun things to do. The hard things to do, the things that I'm probably not going to be able to solve. Just for example, well, I'll keep trying until I die, I guess, but this Heimdall thing so far has had 2 to 3 stops, I think. One was, you know, I've tried using the NetBSD super headers and they didn't do anything. I just hope I'd be able to compile a text file full of gibberish, but that didn't work either. So it was last maintained in 2008, so that didn't solve all the header issues. I went through a couple of the archivers. It didn't solve them. You know, whatever the header issues are. If we're missing a header, it doesn't really make up for it. And frankly, I don't know if those headers, I forgot which one it was. It's in the archivers. I think it's, what the hell, look. sys macros or stats or statfs or sys shm, or I don't know if those are headers that come because, you know, there's just an dependency hasn't been mentioned or something. I don't know, or just we haven't made it yet. I probably could try to just copy and paste the contents from the POSIX standards and throw it into a header and see if it compiles. But I'm not ready to do that just yet. I'm not that desperate for some of those archivers. Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever. Don't know yet. But so this Heim deal or whatever the hell it is. I'm going to see if I can get away with continuing without recreating all 31 links in the subdirectory. Don't think it's going to happen. And then if I get this built, there's one other thing to build, and then oh god, Kernel Panic. Hello. that happens. So I'll be building something. There'll be broken symlinks. I'll fix the symlinks, and I'll just copy the files, and I'll just put the files in place, and I'll name them the exact name of the broken symlinks. And so I just get out of this, press exit. Maybe, well, okay, so I gotta keep hunting these things down. Why did it, what I don't understand is, why is it, I guess it detected, it just decided it was going to make clean because it detected those weren't symlinks. What a real joy. Yeah, it's now gone. The directory's closed, so it must have cleaned itself out. And I just love the way these directories close. You know, so you have no idea what the hell you were doing or where you were, and you have to dig for it. But that's not really all that important. Except that it's just more time wasted. So yeah, Heimdall, and that's might get me to Subversion. Kind of getting tired of this platform, I really am. It's no longer something I really want to feel like I really want to try very hard for. Kind of getting the wine guy's attitude, I guess. Yeah, and if we didn't make hard links in our file system on purpose, you know, I don't think the guy that made the file system just didn't get around to that part. Coincidentally, as the V didn't have it, I think he did that on purpose. So basically, what we have to do, this is where you go, and it's going to happen for a number of packages. So let's just do this, and then get the hell out of here because it doesn't matter. Package source. Okay, so when you run your make, you do bmake install. I hope you're pathing your stuff so you don't have to type in the whole damn thing. Just bmake works if you path it in the .profile file that's in your home directory. First thing it'll do is try to download the source code for whatever it is you are trying to compile, which is this directory right now. If you're doing Mesa, it may take a little while to get there. I don't think it does it right away. It creates a directory because God knows why. In this case, there are actually two tar.zip2 files to download. These are actually the ones I replaced. So I got them from here. I FTP'd them up. Went into Linux, FTP'd them down, unzipped them, and then I set the two original packages aside in case I needed to use them again. Outside the directory, I unzip these things one at a time, and the trick also is that the inside directory contents of both zip files contain the same file sets. Now I've turned my checksum thingamabob off for package source, but package source is still going to expect to find two of these animals. So you got to do these one at a time, and you got to keep the other one in a different directory, zip it up, delete the unzipped directory, and then unzip the next one and zip it up. And use the same names, exact same names you had before. Let me explain what this command is. God, why the hell would I make a cheat sheet and then toss it? Kidoki? It's not really completely resolved. I probably just said hell with it. No, I kept it. I know I kept it. Here it is. It's Mesa Lib 7.11.2. Alright, so let's go over the steps again. Just to be very clear what we got to do. You got 2 tar-zip files the package service is going to download for you. They're going to have these names. They aren't going to have these exact sizes because, to save space, they used hard links in the zip files. So there are files with the same names in different places, but they're really the same file. And that's what a hard link is. So you FTP it up somewhere. Okay. The reason why I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about mounting using USB sticks. I'm not talking about mounting a second virtual hard disk. None of that. You probably could create another CD image, but why bother encasing it in a virtual CD image when you can just FTP it? The problem with, and also the problem with the virtual CD images is that you won't have really write access to it unless you have the CD read-write tools, and that's a whole other complicated issue. It's just easier just to FTP it. And of course, I assume you have networking if you're using package source, otherwise you're not going to be able to download any of the packages anyway, so you could even email this stuff to yourself, although if you have Gmail and you use WebPositive, unfortunately at this point in time you have to use the old HTTP interface or it just won't load. But Gmail will suggest that. So you actually could email these things to you. It's a 6.5 megabyte, and yeah, you could email it to yourself. And then at your Linux desk, you get it, either FTP it down or get it from your email and save it somewhere. Create 2 folders, one for each one of these things. That's probably the best way to go. Unzip the contents of these 2 files into 2 separate folders called 1.1 and 1.2 if you want to. Okay, then you should actually at this point either delete the files that you've worked so hard to get into the directory or put them somewhere else in maybe folder number 3 after you've unzipped the contents. So you have folder number 1, folder number 2, folder number 3 with the 2 original tar-zip files that you've downloaded. Then you want to open up your command prompt. Yeah, command prompt. You have to use the command prompt for this. Then you change directories into that, and you can use the following magic incantation. If you do it out of order, it won't work. And that's the one thing I hate about Unix in general, is that you just don't know what... The man page will tell you all the options. The problem is figuring out where the hell you put these options, which I'll demonstrate also with something else I figured out how to kind of sort out your stats in package source. So the next thing I'll do. So this is the command I use for both of them. And I'm actually going to see if I'm getting this. So this is to zip up the file. Unzipping it, you don't need to worry about the hard links because your Linux is going to be able to handle that. When you zip them back up, you want to zip them back up so they don't have the hard links. So that when package source tries to untar it, it works. I haven't got to a full solution, but I'll show it at least work to the point where it actually unzips without any problems. So you tar /hard dereference /dereference minus CJIF. That'll make up a zip2 file. And then you just use the same names you had before. One of these commands, you change directory in directory number 1. The second one, change directory in directory number 2. You're probably going to want to make sure that there's one that's a lot larger than the other ones. You want to make sure that you've just named them the right way. Now, in my case, I happen to be in a directory of the same name, but in your case, it's going to be 1 and 2. Okay? And that could be confusing. Okay, so if you put the hard dereference after the -C .vjf, it'll make a file called hard dereference and try to zip up the non-existent. it'll barf back at you and say, I can't find these bazip files to bazip once again. So you have to do it in that order. If you do it in that order, you're fine. Of course, you have to have tar, but most Linux distros have tar install. And so now you got your two files. You zip them back up, and go back in Haiku. FTP them back up or email them. You can go back in Haiku and you FTP them down. And then at that point, they're ready to be used by package source. So like here they are. So I've already started working on Mesa, but that's not a problem, man. Just go in here to package source, graphics. Also, I've kind of noticed that as a side comment, I'm having difficulty figuring out where the hell anything is in a Haiku porter. Is where it's supposed to be, or whatever, because it's got like, well, basically, if I had to guess where Mesa was, at worst I'd be looking in three places. Probably graphics, maybe X11, maybe development, maybe, but some of the breakdown here on Haiku ports, it's like, I know we probably wouldn't want to, but we got media graphics, but Mesa isn't there. It's in sys lives. Right? Or is it in developed lives, or is it in, is it a utility? Is it, it's just, we have too many categories that they're kind of redundant. What kind of games do you develop with? Are these developer utilities for games, or perhaps? But okay, so just get off that, I guess. But net www versus sys networking. I don't know. It's like, where do you I literally have to go into Web Positive and look to see, and look for the name of the package I think that's being called, and then put Haiku ports and hope someone's made a patch and there's some kind of tag in the line there to tell me where it would be here. And sometimes it doesn't even come out that way. So here it is. Okay, I'm going to Mesa, and this is what you can do if you this is Mesa lib. And now I'm just going to duplicate the Mesa lib. It's called Mesa lib copy. Just right click Mesa lib copy. Yeah, apparently, the only thing package source is doing here is that supposedly you can use other versions, right? But all the patches and everything are for this version. Let's keep it at 7.11 for Dragonfly BSD or something. I don't know if maybe they decided that this is just fine and the newer ones are more problematic. I just don't know. So oh god, how long does it take to copy 5,000 files? Now also, if you want to see how fast Something compiles in Linux versus in here. Anyway, I got 4 CPUs, and I have 4 gig, probably 2, maybe 4 gigs of RAM here. There's something going on. The system feels really, really choppy. It really does. And I may just end up starting to use Slackware. The package source works pretty damn well. Let's go into one that actually will not compile in Haiku. I haven't tried this, but I have not pathed this. Now, what's really saying right there is that it can't find 3 files. You see how fast that was? And then now if you want to say, well, you got 2 other compilations going, well, I've got 2 other OSs going in my host, okay? In the time, I'd never tried to compile Arcade, so in the time that it would be done now, in the time it took to fetch that. Okay, now it's done. But it's just another part of the joy of Haiku, I guess, right? Still copying. Although, actually, when I'm done with a category, I'll usually just delete the whole thing and then empty the trash can overnight. Well, it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. If this thing would finish, then I would actually just go and show that the Mesa libraries actually unzip. And then I'm just going to show some scripting I did to keep track of some stuff. And I will say this about the tools at package source. The documentation is fucking horrible. For the longest time, I was trying to figure out a way to get package info just to give me just the packages from a particular category. Well, I finally figured out how to do that. So I'm going to show that. I probably could have done that in the time it's taken to copy 5,000 files. So I'm going to copy 100 kilobytes. Okay, we're done. Alright, let's just go in there and show this damn thing unzipping. Oh yeah, and I got this 1901 sim. What that is, I took a screenshot of the trash saying it was going to empty. I just don't really. Here we go. There's even big, yeah. It's going to finish December 13th, 1901. So I took a screenshot of it, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? And then, is this really useful? Did they really know what the bug is? Yeah. And then it was on my desktop in a folder called 1901, and I go here to the, and suddenly there's along with applications demo, there's a 1901 folder. Now it's a broken symlink because I've moved it into the not solved folder. I don't understand why that's doing that, but I'll just mention it. Okay. God, if I was obligated to do this, I'd go crazy. The only thing that keeps me going is that I know I could stop at any time I want. Alright. Go CD graphics Mesa lib. This part of the whole thing is a big show. It's still, I don't have it compiled yet. There are other issues to deal with. But, okay, so I'm going to be made clean. I have my copy already. Not that it really matters all that much, but... Now usually, under normal circumstances, it'll just go... When you try to make... It'll check for all the millions of dependencies it has. And this dependent... I see that's fulfilled. XCV proto, font broadcast, all these X11 dependencies. I mean, 20, 30, I don't know how many. And then it starts, and then it'll give you an error. Sorry, can't unzip. Operation not allowed. It's the hard link, and it's in the tar file. So, and I don't know. There's something else I'm kind of wondering about. What's this error we had here? See, I'm not getting any, and when I do this Archangel here, I'm not getting these, like, undefined references. I mean, I'm using package source. I assume that version of GCC am I using? Same version of GCC. So the only thing different between Linux and and Haiku is the kernel and the libraries and the headers. Same tool set, and I'm not getting these header errors in Archangel. That's where it actually errors out. In Linux here, it just couldn't find one of the shared libraries. It's probably something to do with the setting that I have in there, but probably could be over. It's an older piece of code. Maybe I'd have the same problem in Haiku, but the point is I'm not, it's not because it's a non-existent header. The header exists. And actually, function definitions don't happen with libraries or the kernel. They're headers. It's a header issue. And even with NetBSD's souped up fix the headers option, it still doesn't work. It's like, God, how many damn things are you gonna have to pour? I mean, it's a huge project just to have gone this far. And just looking at my package list, it's like, okay, well, if this were 1992 or 93, I may say, well, if I had a word processor, I'd have a pretty dope Unix system here. But that's, probably going to use that term. But okay, let's just go and just show this damn thing unzipping. Oh, do not go. I've got some N-Curses games I've never tried before because I've never been this desperate for apps. But, there's... I don't know. So I keep getting these stupid, warning. Do we have some kind of, I see this strict prototypes thing in there. Maybe if I try modifying my specs, I have a feeling some of these things, like, I'll get errors and it'll just stop. It'll say some of the warnings were treated as errors. I think, well, why do I care? You know, I want the damn thing to compile. I'm not here to fix everybody else's code in the world, you know. If someone else wants to do that, that's their damn prerogative. But if, you know, chuck that inside the GCC options, you're just screwing the pooch for everybody who wants, you know. Okay. So here's the 10 million dependencies, and I'll check those dependencies. Now it's going to overwrite. It's finally going to start. There's something else I thought I was going to do. Oh, yeah. All right, so this is probably for a lot of people, you know, use package source. So let me show you do I even still have the printout of that damn thing? The man page for package info is the same quality documentation one becomes used to when dealing with man pages. It sucks. You tell someone to put a lot of thought of effort into it, but it's so nondescript that it turns something that's a good tool set into something that no one knows how to use. Whatever, I just go seek it out. So, there's too much to know. Now, actually, you know what I had to do? I had to redirect. There it is. Right, there's package info, right? And the option I'm going to end up using to figure out what category something's in. Why is this important? Because I want it to, for example, I want it to query all the installed audio apps. And then I just want to go into the audio directory where my packages are and just look, oh, there's 61. Oh, there are 61 lines in this file. We're good. Or there's one different. Oh, that's because of the, you know, of the incompatibility between this app and that app. You know, okay, so I have 64 packages and 63 are installed. Right? And I just want to make sure I've not overcounting or undercounting or know why things differ when I count two different ways, which is what accountants do, I guess. So it's got all this stuff. Here's the Q. Where's the Q option? Q variable. Show the definition of variable from the build information from each package. An empty string is returned. No such variable definition found in the packages. What the fuck does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. Okay, so inside the contents of, let's just go look in here, or what it could mean. It means so much that you can't really describe it that well. So, right. So here's, sounds like bullshit, but you'll see that it's true. So here is the package database, and we'll just go pick one after it decides. And another thing that bugs the hell out of me, I don't know why it takes so damn long for Haiku to count the files in a directory, but it does. I mean, the develop directory has 1,800 files. So let's say I dig into SDL and I go back out and wants to recount all 1,800 again. You know, then I gotta wait a minute just to go into the next directory. Okay, let's just pick one of these things. So SQL relay. In the build info here, it's got a lot of stuff. The bottom, it's got package path. Okay, That's a variable that the queue is talking about. So, basically, I almost figured this out by accident. I mean, so still extracting, but it's not failing. Okay, it's a big package. Toolchain wrappers. So, you know, let's see if I could kill the debug server and suddenly things go a lot faster. Okay, so, and again, I've got an alias for package info. If you don't have it, if you don't have your .profile with the alias, I've already done a video on the aliases, but if you don't have it in there, then you're not going to be able to just type package info. Package info minus Q, and the variable is package path. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to do any equals, I'm just going to grep. I'm just going to have it get all the package paths. And then I'm going to pipe the output from this to grep, and I have grep only display the packages that are in the archivers. I hate it when the damn caps is on. I can't use caps. Grep forgot something. Obviously. Have to have the A in front of it. If I don't have the A in front of it, it doesn't assume the A is going to be used. But if I just put package into info, it assumes the A is going to be used, which the context they don't tell you about in the man page. So sometimes you read the man page, they're just really basically trying to insult you. So it's looking through all the packages. Eventually it's going to come up with one that's an archiver. There they are. Once the cursor's done blinking, that means it's done searching through all the packages. And you have your comprehensive. Now, I don't know why this ends up coming out sorted the way it is, but it is. Another really annoying thing is, however, is that this sort is different than the display sort when you're in the directories. So you go down a list. Do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Especially when you're one or two off. Do I have this one? Do I have this one? Oh, that one's up there. That one's down there. This one's over there. So I've ended up had to reorder some of these things because it likes anything caps here. They're better examples, but actually I got a whole census done. The package census. Let's see. Some of these I've changed, some I haven't. Yeah. So we got date lib, date util, and all these on the top, zippy dent, and then we go in alphabetical order. So if it's capitalized, capital D comes before a lowercase a, apparently. But not in the display directory. It's annoying. Alright, so that's how you can get basically a list of your packages by type. So if you're saving your packages into folders here, you can just go look, and at the bottom it says how many you got. Oh, 32. You can go look at your census. What was that? Editors? Oh, you go down to line. Line number 31. What's the difference? Oh. Well, that's because XV, I don't know, VIM share, I think. No, VIM XAU has a package conflict with VIM share, or something like that. So that's why it's a difference of 1. I have one more package than I have installed. There must have been some other. Right, I'm reading the wrong line. 32, 31, 1. Wake up. Okay, Alright, so I made a shell script that actually automates that process, which is not hard to do. Simple, actually. Because I don't consider myself a programmer. Shell scripting makes sense because I know what's going to happen when I understand the context. I know what happens when I type a command into the command line. I probably could use variables here, but I keep forgetting about variables, how to use them, so it's easier for me just to make 39 line copy and paste text versus. So I got the shebang up there. Then I got it actually. Oh yeah, when you make a shell script, it won't read the profiles. You have to do the whole damn thing. I could have put a variable at the top, make boot home package, but whatever. I could just copy it, so I don't have to retype it every time. Minus AQ, just same way I did. Looks for the package path variable, greps it, and narrows it down to archivers with the slash. If you don't put the slash there, then if there's an app that has the letters C, A, and D in it, but it happens to be a emulator, it'll also show up in your CADS count, and that doesn't make a very good reliable database. So then I just run this. It takes like a minute, and then it populates. I made a directory called package census in my home directory, and in there it just populates all these things. The last time I ran it was a while back. This one is empty. It remains empty from 11:59 a.m. because there actually have built no packages. In the Windows Window Manager section so far. So yeah, I got fetch mail and I got Apache that doesn't work, and a couple ncurses browsers, but nothing really to write home about. So this is actually Mesa trying to build. I do know it will fail at some point. Yeah, there it is. This damn thing. It's looking for some kind of library that's not there, and it might be a broken symbolic link. I gotta look. If it is, then I just go ahead and copy the original into place. I don't know why the symbolic links are broken, other than perhaps it may have, and it also does say here doesn't know how to create a static shared library for Haiku, but whatever. I haven't looked at any of the porting information yet. I try first. If it builds, great. If it doesn't, then I start looking to, the information on Haiku ports. And like I've always said, I don't see why the patches that are Haiku ports couldn't fit into this. It's got a much more robust infrastructure than we shouldn't have to work for something we already were given. I'm not going to do the work to make up for the fact that we decided not to take what was given to us. That's just my position on the whole thing. Alright, so I'm just going to check these in to my net directory. hell is that? Just wait for the 1144 to creep down to news, and they open it up and count the number of lines. Make sure it's got 73 in there. '73. Yeah, let's see what I'm gonna get packaged info. And as auto replay will demonstrate, too much of a good thing is bad. Too much POSIX is bad. After a while, this gets old. $32.40. I really wanted to, and I want to. I'll FTP up my list, you know. So I don't have networking. I was actually thinking of doing the Andrew file system, because I actually built the Andrew file system package, but I was looking at the spec. I don't think it would work, and that's old. Maybe I could use BitTorrent. You could have a torrent going, you know, between my host and my system, because there's no... This is practically no networking in this damn thing. Yeah, so these man pages, it's like, okay, yeah. This I've used. It's like when package admin wasn't finding the right package database directory, I had to do the K thing. But I bet you if I just some of the stuff is just not clear. MSG plugins? That's not the right directory. It's supposed to write over my old shit. Yeah, I also got KD set up to print line numbers. Ooh. So, where's the options? Line numbers. Yeah, you stick around for another one. Until you go crazy. Listen to this. Actually, I think I'll stop here.